Good morning, children. Myself, L.K. Tripathi. Dear students, now we shall discuss today about the traditional versus modern education system. This topic will give us a lot of information about the modern education system. Let us now compare the traditional and modern system of education. The traditional system of education had the following characteristics. What were they? Number first, a traditional school did not have any of the features that you see in schools nowadays. There were no classrooms, no textbooks, no roll call, not even school buildings. Schools were very often organized around one teacher. Number second, the traditional schools were based on the requirements of the local people and run by them. In a sense, they only taught you as much as you needed to learn. They were very affordable and it was not always necessary to pay fee in cash. They were based in the local life cycles. Thus, the school would not be held during harvest. This suited the rural children. Learning was in local languages and traditional knowledge was impaired till the middle of the 19th century. The colonial rulers were mostly concerned with higher education. But after the Wood's dispatch, they began to concentrate on vernacular education as well. Let's take a look at some of the changes they were able to bring about in the realm of education in India. Number one, government appointed Pandits in charge of 4-5 schools. It was their job to go around the schools and make sure that the teaching was of a certain standard and that classes were taken as per a timetable. They submitted periodic reports to the government. There was thus the beginning of state supervision of education. education no longer remained a local or regional affair. Next, the format of teaching changed completely. Teaching was done through textbooks. Students were expected to attend schools regularly, pay fixed fee monthly, and appear for exams to test their ability. School buildings came up and a new type of discipline was imposed. The schools which followed these rules were supported and funded by the government. State funding of education started. Independent Pathshalas lost favor because of the year-round teaching cycle. Many rural families found it difficult to send their children to school. On the positive side, girls were encouraged to attend school. Let's now consider the overall impact of colonial education policies on education in India. What were they? Number one, the growth of education was not uniform at all levels. More attention was paid to the expansion of high schools and colleges. Pathshalas which accepted the new rules were supported by government grants. Those who were unwilling to work within the new system received no government grants. The new educational system neglected education of the masses. Because education was more expensive, only the rich and urban people could afford it. The new system demanded regular attention, regular attendance in the school, even during the harvest season. Otherwise, students were not allowed to continue in schools. English medium education neglected the study of Indian literature, history, law, and philosophy. Scientific and technical education for Indians was also neglected. Educational institutions came to be set up mainly in urban areas, and there was little effort made to educate girls. English education brought the Indians into contact with national and scientific ideas, and with the developments in science and technology. Indians became familiar with the writings of great thinkers, which inspired the Indian national movement. English, that emerged as the common language among educated Indians, helped to spread new ideas among common people living in different parts of India and created bonds of unity among them. National education. From the early 19th century, many thinkers from different parts of India began to feel that Western education would help modernize India. They asked the British to open more schools, colleges, and universities and spend more money on education. This trend is best exemplified in Raja Ram Mohan Rai, who forcefully articulated the benefits of Western education. Yet, there were some Indians like Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore who did not like the British education system. They began to question British education policy. As the nationalist movement gathered momentum, particularly after the partition of Bengal and the beginning of Swadeshi and boycott movement. Many other Indians also began to not only question the educational policy of the British government but also advocated their boycott. Moreover, during the anti-partition movement, students had been very active. This appeared to have angered the British authorities and they expelled many students from their schools and colleges. That's all. Up to here we have studied through this video. Next we shall discuss in the next video next time. Till then, goodbye.